He got the rebound. They bring it down. Wade again. He was stopped. Kept his pivot, a foot on the floor. Kept spinning. Kept moving. Finally got a fadeaway, a fallback jumper with a guy in his face to fall. So those 5 points were the dagger. D. Wade even talking smack with fans that were screaming in his face on the first row on the floor. Some Hornets fans getting all up in his face, and he's like, "I'm D. Wade, son. I just dropped bombs on you, son." I mean, the dagger J's, the three, and then the fallback J for two, which was just so sweet with a guy in his face. Just so clutch. Dwyane Wade forcing Game 7 back in Miami. Oh, you gotta love him in South FLA. Check out him. Speaking of which, Laremy Tunsil, what a story over the last 24 hours and change in Miami. It all started in Chicago. 13 minutes before the draft, some clown leaks his Twitter account, hacked Instagram, whatever it was. And it obviously has spread like fire that he was smoking bongs with gas masks on his face. There were more than one picture of him, one with it on, one with it off. It was clearly him. He's busted cold turkey. Flat out pinched. He admitted it. Then after he got drafted finally, 13th by the Dolphins last night, as he was soaking wet, sweating, dripping, it looked like he was down at the police station getting ID'd and getting interrogated by the feds. He was soaking wet, he was dripping, he was wiping sweat off his face because he was just under so much stress and pressure. The kid looked like he was going to have a heart attack. He was dripping. I mean, he was, you talk about a guy under pressure and freaking out, man. Bottom line is, he sat there and answered the questions. Nobody liked his answers. Nobody liked the fact that he said he took money when he was at Ole Miss. You know, bottom line, isn't it Ole Miss's problem? Is it really his problem now? What are they going to do to him? I mean, Reggie Bush had this whole thing happen, right? Like, they came back to haunt him. Isn't that basically what happened at USC? They haunted him. Are they going to haunt Tunsil's life forever now? First of all, they're clamoring about the fact that the guy that, whoever it is, guy, woman, whoever they catch, if they catch somebody, that they're, obviously facing criminal charges. The hacker, whoever hacked the account and posted the video of him, is allegedly facing up to 5 years in prison under the Stored Communications Act if the offense is committed for the purposes of commercial advantage, malicious destruction, or damage or private commercial gain, which is exactly what it was. There was talk of, a bribe. It's, I guess the potential sanctions consist of not more than 1 year for a first offense, up to 5 years for a second offense. They're saying it need not actually result in harm. It did harm him. It did harm the kid. He fell like a tree in the woods in the draft. Reports had it that the individual was trying to sell the video for weeks. They either knew or guessed his password, hacked the account, and in turn broke the law. It was a Twitter account is what it was. People are saying he should pursue a civil liability. The person who did it may not have the resources to even begin to pay him for the damage that he caused him. But, I mean, what would you do? You move on, you go down to Miami, and ever since he got there, that was bizarre in itself. He showed up, he had an allergic reaction, allegedly. Everybody probably didn't believe that at the beginning when they announced that he was having some kind of allergic reaction when he got to Miami. Mike Tannenbaum said he was dealing with it, and he was with the medical staff, and they said, hopefully they'll clear it up. Sure enough, he did eventually meet That was after an hour. He was a no-show at the introductory news presser. He did show up, and he refused to talk about Ole Miss. That's because they told him, don't talk about Ole Miss. Don't talk about the bong pictures. Don't talk about receiving payments. Don't talk about Oxford. Talk about being drafted, and talk about your professional career starting with the Dolphins. His family, Tunsil's family, didn't show up. His stepfather, of course, is suing him. They got into a brawl. He's been suspended at school, everything. You name it, he's had problems. But they said, the team, the Dolphins, they're comfortable with the pick. And it was unanimous from the owner, Ross, down in the organization that they felt good about his character, which is almost laughable. What character does he have? You mean the character with the gas mask on his face smoking bongs? Or the one receiving payments when he was there because he was on the take? Or the one that was sculling his stepfather and almost beating him senseless? Which one of those shows character? I mean, maybe a cartoon character, a guy that smokes bongs with a gas mask, beats up his stepfather, and receives illegal payments to play football in Ole Miss. That's like a cartoon character, isn't it? But he's got no character. Let's stop with all that character nonsense. He's got character, my ass. He made mistakes. He made a lot of mistakes. We're comfortable with that, they said. All the research they've done, they're very comfortable with his character. Well, their research has been horrible. Who researches a guy that's done that many things and then comes out and says he's got character and they like his character? They're very comfortable with him, the player and the person. What they're saying is they like the fact that he's a monster and that he's going to block for Tannenbaum's quarterback down there, Tannehill. I can't keep track of all the Tannas. The Tannenbaums, Tannehills. I wonder what's going to happen. I'll tell you what's going to happen. They're going to put him at guard. He's going to be huge, and he's a force to be reckoned with. The guy can play. There's no denying that. I can't wait to see how it all evolves, but I couldn't believe how everything went down in Miami in 24 hours. D. Gordon, Tunsil, they're still talking about it. And then, I mean, some kid was throwing a no-hitter tonight or something for the Marlins after all of that. And then D. Wade jacks a 3 and then a 2 with a guy in his face on the fadeaway to ice Game 6 on the road in Charlotte and the Beehive and bring it back to South Beach for a Game 7. The Heat are rocking, baby. The Dolphins are rocking. So, 855-212-4227. We'd love to hear from you.